locked in. Hey guys, welcome back to Grand Tactician. I told you guys in the last episode that we're gonna do today's battles today when we came back. I will bring Eve back. I know you guys love Eve, but I had to take a little bit of a break, so we're gonna be doing Grand Tactician for a little bit. I know it's not as well received, but like I can't do that game for that long without switching it up. So hopefully you guys understand that, because Eve is just a grind, really. But without further ado, let's get into this. We got Cook's Army of the Potomac, 25,000 men, 179 guns. So we got plenty of cannons. And, well, the Union boys might be in some trouble here. Especially if they go down the main road. I mean, they have the crappy cannons, but it's still 117 of them, 70 something guns total. So this is going to be a Meatgrinder position, right? I'm going to set up my defenses, and then I'll be with you guys when I'm done. I don't know if we should do breastworks or... Actually, let's do some breastworks. I don't know how many points that's going to be used. That should be enough to put one on the other side here, and then put one on the other road as well. I'm going to put a tiny one on the other road. Set my men to long range first of all, and then we'll put another parapet on this road here. Okay. And then got 4.6 points. So let's see. We'll put the other one on the other side of the main road that goes down the middle there. I'm trying to cover any avenue of approach by the Union forces pretty much. Can we get these trenches to attach? Yes, we can. Hopefully that covers any avenue of approach. I'm gonna have to divide my forces a little bit, but that's okay because we should have some pretty good defenses put in. The smallest trench being on the dirt road, so most of those guys won't get cover, unfortunately, unless I can cram them in here. I mean, I can try. Yeah, that'd be claustrophobia in there, no doubt. I almost wish I made that a little bigger, but I don't know if I had enough points to actually do that. Huh. That's funny. We fit that whole thing in there, which is kind of BS, but whatever. That's kind of hilarious. It would be so crammed in there, it wouldn't be funny. But hey, it works, right? And then I'm also gonna jam everybody in here. These guys got mixed muskets. Unfortunately, not everybody has a rifled musket here, but a lot of them do though. A lot of the Army of the Potomac's men actually do have rifled muskets, so that's a plus. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick a battery behind just every defensive wall here. Make sure that everybody has a battery covering one of the defensive positions, which everybody has a piece of artillery with them as far as the infantry divisions go, but that's only for support reasons. I'm talking one of the bigger batteries is what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna always make sure these guys got some artillery support. And all we're gonna do now is make sure that I have a couple divisions up on the flanks for support. We'll place this guy right here, stop off any gaps or anything, and I'm gonna put the cavalry back here in the woods. I think that's pretty much all we can do right now. Hopefully it goes well, but we'll see. Actually, I'm gonna put him behind, like in reserve, behind everyone else, just so we can have a reserve division here. But without further ado, let's see how this plays out. I tried to cut off basically any other approach that I could see, because the AI is programmed to go for the weakest point. So actually that would be my weakest point there. So I'm going to put this reserve unit behind the river. I wish I would have saw that earlier, but we should have plenty of time to get in position. I think the Union forces are going to run into a Meatgrinder at this point. Not everybody has, Springfield government issue musket yet, but I'm working on it. That takes time. I'll be with you guys when the action starts. Right against my breastworks. But the problem is these guys have mixed muskets, so their range isn't going to be all that great. That's the issue with it. I'm gonna issue some Springfield rifle muskets for these guys so they can be more effective. That's the only problem. They're attacking that line, even though it's a hard defensive line. It's the weakest point, and the AI has been programmed to attack the weakest point. So, that's what we're gonna see them do. But that is still a heavy defensible line. Just because they're in green cover, there's not gonna be a lot that can break it. That's why I put defensive lines on both main roads, because I didn't want them breaking through that. However, we're going to take this guy and we're going to do a little bit of a flank maneuver. I want them to have maximum firepower, so we're going to do a little bit of a maneuver here and try to kind of help the guys in the trenches out a bit. So we're gonna move his division up, so then when they meet the guys in the breastworks, finally they're getting enveloping fire, pretty much. That's what the plan is there. And I'm pulling my men back away from the field a little bit so that the AI doesn't get smart as to what I'm doing. I'm trying to wait until they engage, and then we'll go flank them. See, that artillery fire is so ferocious right now that they actually can't move. It might be a bunch of 6-pounders, but there's so many of them that they actually cannot move. As you can see, it's just constant barrage. And I can see what they're doing. They're trying to essentially mass their forces so that they can bum rush the trench there. But that's exactly what I want them to do, guys. I want them to bum rush the trench. Because as soon as they do that, it's going to be flanking time. And they're not going to have a great time with it. See, he's trying to get a flanking maneuver as well. I'm going to switch one of these batteries to counter battery fire. Just, I think it's going to be... No, not this guy. I want the other guy. Get this guy to counter battery fire. That way he'll target the Union artillery. Still get plenty of support fire from the other batteries. Doing a really good job at pinning them down though. And switch the fire onto this brigade for him specifically. And we are outnumbered by almost 10,000 troops. So that's not going to be a pleasant experience, to be honest. Because it's going to take a lot to hold this ground. It's really gonna take a lot to hold this ground, guys. Right now, we're doing pretty good, but can't let up on the anti-artillery fire. Because when we do, we're going to be in trouble. That's going to be the key of winning this battle, is taking out their cannons before they take out ours. Because if they don't have artillery fire, the chances of them winning are that much less. And then they're gonna have to charge the breastworks because they don't have the artillery fire to fire back. We're about to take out one of them at the very least. So that's good. And we gotta keep this up until we get the majority of their cannon fire gone. If it's just infantry, we can handle that. But if we don't take out the cannons, we're screwed. Obviously, they still want to target the infantry as well, which is not bad, but I'd like to focus more on the artillery. I'm just sensing a full-on assault coming. Maybe from the front. I'm gonna take this guy and say, dude, target this artillery piece, please. I want him gone. But yeah, the artillery fire is just ferocious. Here they come, boys. Here they come. Alright, we need to get some support fire. Wreck them down, boys. Bring them down. No doubt. Bring them down. And you, sir, need to go in with your division and mop up here. Alright, boys, keep it up. That's right. Make your mothers proud. Keep firing, boys. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Let's actually go like this with this brigade. Pull them back some. See if we can't get them to recover. Let's bring him forward to engage this person here. take you and try to flank right there. He's actually falling back. Wow. Let's take our extra brigade and head this way to flank the Union forces down here. Say that we want to have you fire on this guy here. There we go. Get you back in position there. It's shifting in our favor, so that's really good, in all honesty. We still have a long fight to go. boys. Every cannon, counter battery fire, please. Counter battery fire. Knock those cannons out. this is crazy. Fire support wide, army wide. Because if we don't get fire support, we're screwed. Absolute freaking nuts. We need your division up on the front lines. Jeez. This is insanity. Counter battery fire. God damn, I moved the entire army, not what I wanted to do. Dang. Well, we lost, guys. There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Jeez. Wait. Oh my gosh, this is tense. Yeah, dude, it's done. We're done. I'll keep the video though because it's a hard fight. It was a hard fight. Maybe the right flanking maneuver can turn the tide, but I doubt it. They got too many men than we do. Why didn't you shoot? End of day. Okay. The whole army, please retreat back to the parapet. Maybe we can pull this off. If we pull y'all to a centralized location, we need to knock out those batteries. If we manage to beat this, I'm going to be ecstatic. But it's definitely costly. No doubt. But if we have any chance at all, we gotta take out the guns first. But that's gonna be hard because they're lodged in our defensive positions. Yeah, it's all but lost, but we'll do as much as we can here. That was brutal. We tried, guys, and we played them. Just that was a nasty fight. And I'll keep it because we gave it all. 6,000. We both lost 6,000. Shit. Man, that's crazy. That sucks. Now Winchester's open, but there's nothing we can do about that. Freaking 12,000 men dead on either side. 6,000 Confederates dead, 6,000 Union dead. That's freaking... Alright guys, we played this for over an hour trying to fight that. So, I'll see you guys next time. But that's a major blow to Confederacy, I'll tell you that much. That is a major blow. I'm gonna pull Joseph Johnson back and tell him that you need to pull back and retake Winchester. Or even get to Winchester before they do. Because we played them pretty bad. 2 back-to-back defeats, which is unfortunate. But I can always send Zolkoffer out of Tennessee to retake that. But I don't know. That was a lot of men, guys. We held our own. Everybody needs to get refit there. No question about it. So just send the whole army back home. Because holy crap. Everybody needs to get refit. I'm going to take a risk and I'm going to leave Tennessee because I don't want to leave that totally open. Problem if I do that, dang it. Although, hold up. Okay, let's do this. I'm trying to think on what we can do here. I'll send this guy to Nashville. I'll send Zolkoffer to Virginia temporarily, just to cover our butts. Zolkoffer, I know you can beat that force, because we battered it pretty hard. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys next time. We'll try to kick these guys out of Virginia next episode. I had to retreat Johnston, because although that was looking like a victory, that's something we had to do tactically. I hope you guys don't bash me in the comments too much, but I feel like it had to be done. Oh crap.